Hello and welcome to this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We have an informative show packaged just for you. Let's get these pages turning.
This is a crisis, and it is one thing that we must never do, is waste a crisis. The other word for crisis is opportunity. And this is an opportunity to make Jamaica stronger. And I know that with unity, togetherness, genuine unity and togetherness, Jamaica will recover and recover stronger.
As communities begin the road to recovery, the smooth and timely movement of relief supplies has never been more important. In this week's episode of Get the Facts, we turn to the Jamaica Customs Agency as they share programs, streamlined procedures and critical guidelines now in place to help fast-track the clearance of goods and supplies. Let's join in on the conversation.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the show that gives you information on the latest topics. I'm Theodore Henry. In today's segment, we're taking a closer look at the role of the Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, in ensuring that relief supplies and shipments from overseas reach those who need them the most. Joining us today is the Chief Information Officer at the Jamaica Customs Agency, Andre Williams, to provide the facts and, of course, to clear up any misinformation. Welcome to Get the Facts, Sir Williams.
Thank you very much, and good day to our viewers.
All right, let's jump right into this.
Yes.
There has been a video circulating
Yes.
online, and it's been causing quite a bit of public furor. Essentially, it was that customs officers were holding on to relief bags. And I know the JCL put out a press release, but for our viewers, could you speak to that?
A little bit of clarity.
Yeah.
Well, it is an unfortunate incident, but of course, clarity is where we want to ensure that persons appreciate the role of customs,
Right.
which first, of course, many persons may not remember, but our first mandate is to ensure the security of our borders, right? And
Yeah, that's true.
yes,
That is true.
All right, so we guard against any illicit items, prohibited items coming in. And of course, in this situation now, we're speaking about delayed baggages, right? So we are aware that the airlines have in fact approved for additional bags along with the additional weight for persons who are coming into country. And this has caused an uptick, and plus, of course, you're dealing with relief supplies, and so you may have limited cargo space. What would have happened, though, is that there are a number of baggages that were delayed from an earlier flight. And then, of course, based on the different arrangements for some persons may be traveling out of town, there are persons who decide to wait. It does not necessarily mean, however, that those bags may be coming on the next flight. So persons would definitely have to await the information that is coming from the airline.
Right. So just to underscore it there, you traveled before the bags, but there's no assurance that
It will be on the next flight.
Is going to be okay.
Right.
So it's not that we're holding on or stopping people from getting their luggage.
Right, so those bags,
waiting.
actually, they were not there.
Right.
They're still overseas, unfortunately. We understand the anxieties for persons who would now have to wait or to make alternative arrangements to come back to our facilities there at the airport. We do have a delayed baggage facility. Nonetheless, though, those bags did eventually come in on a later flight, and in fact, all bags were cleared the following morning. So I understand it's almost 140 bags that were delayed. That's a significant number, but however, all of them were processed and duly released. We also want to point out that, of course, that bags that come in are, of course, handled with exceptional care to ensure that they are safe and secure.
Right.
And then it is inspected in the presence of the passenger We know that some persons may make arrangements as well for the airlines to deliver the bags to their address, and of course it would have to be inspected if it is required in the presence of that agent to ensure that all is well, and then of course the delivery is made.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Clarity received. Let's talk relief. What's the process to bring in relief items? In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, a lot of people want to do this overseas, here.
Yes.
What's the process? Walk us through.
Right. So we are certainly in a very difficult time now. We do understand the damages and the loss that has been experienced in the western end, and many persons are in fact intending to carry relief. The government has granted a suspension of import duties and GCT on specific items that's publicized on our website. And of course, persons can now bring those in for the benefit of individuals. So once those items are being brought in, we do have a small declaration where persons will declare that these are indeed for the relief of for persons who are in need.
Right.
And that has to be signed, and then of course the shipment will be inspected, etc., and then be released to the individuals.
Can I jump in here a moment? You've mentioned legitimate items and people have to sign to say it. So
Right.
there's some sort of
Right.
something that says, okay, this is legitimate and this isn't. Is it only item based or is it like quantity based, that sort of thing?
So, as I mentioned, for the relief that has been granted by the government, it goes up until the 31st of December, it's the end of the year. There are specific items on that list.
Right.
For example, bed linens, bath linens, clothing, non-perishable items, etc., generator, styling kits, inverters, and so forth. So all of those are eligible items, and persons can consult our website for those lists, the details of those items. However, we do understand that there are no persons who may be bringing in larger quantities.
Right.
Which, of course, it would be for distribution. Whether it is to a private group, they are able to of course, do that through one of the charitable institutions. Right. So that's the larger quantities. I just want to be clear as well that these relief items, obviously that is not goods that are being brought in for resale. They're not for commercial purposes, so those would not be eligible. We do also have persons who are donating at the national level, right? And for our international donors, non-profitable organizations, etc., they would coordinate their efforts through the designated agency that is ODPEM, right? Of course. And that is now being coordinated along with customs and other regulatory authorities, the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health. And that is to ensure that the processing takes place in a relatively short amount of time so that those goods can be moved and then be distributed through the respective areas.
Got it. All right, I want to ask about this a little bit more, but we're going to go to our break right now. The discussion will continue with Andre Williams, Chief Information Officer at the Jamaica Customs Agency. Please stay with us.
Jamaica Post is committed to being your preferred logistics partner. Enjoy the convenience of 3 to 5 days for international shipments at competitive rates and next business day delivery for local packages. Take advantage of our fast, reliable and ever-evolving services: zip mail, click and ship, fast track, EMS, parcel service, registered mail, corporate mail service and private letterbox. Access customer service support and track packages online. Visit our post offices island-wide and premium service centers at select locations. For more information, go to jamaicapost.gov.jm. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. We're continuing our conversation with Andre Williams, Chief Information Officer at Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, and we're discussing relief shipment to Jamaica and a few other matters. Sir Andre, you had mentioned earlier that there's a difference in the scale.
Yes.
So you have the approved items, and that list has recently been expanded, we know, in response to the needs that exist.
Of course.
But you mentioned scale, and tell me if my summary is right. Personally, bringing in relief items through JCA, it's fine.
Yes.
At a certain scale, though, has to come through a registered charity or ODPEM.
Yes.
Are there any other organizations that we work with, and on what basis?
Right. So we are aware that a number of schools have in fact been damaged, and there are many other organizations who may want to, or persons who may want to donate directly to schools. And we do have the National Education Trust. They are the established body on behalf of the government who will handle relief supplies that are designated for schools.
School stuff, NET.
NET, right. Then there are others who are now, of course, dealing with healthcare products, medical products, etc. And that can be coordinated through the National Healthcare Education Foundation, NHEF.
Right.
Right, and of course, in regards to the details as to how to coordinate and to ensure that these are approved items, there are a list of approved or registered products that can be used locally. And then they would have to know, of course, inform the respective bodies to get those coordinated for the donations once they have been approved,
Right.
to be shipped here and be processed.
So when we're dealing with the organizations, it sounds like the right step is to first coordinate the organization and have them guide us on bringing this.
Precisely, because they do have their own standards, of course, to ensure, for example, relief items, we wouldn't want to see expired medication, etc., that's coming in. And there are certain types of medication that would not be approved for local use.
Right.
And so it is very important that, for example, if you're coordinating through ODPEM, that you contact ODPEM. The information is there on their website. In fact, if you should go to supportjamaica.gov.jm, there's a national needs list that is provided in regards to relief supplies, temporary housing, emergency equipment, etc. And of course, that guides the donors who, as in regards to what it is that is needed at national level.
Got it.
And likewise is the case for the National Education Trust and, of course, NHEF, as you mentioned.
Right. Got it. So when it comes to bringing in relief items, let's go back to the personal level.
Yes.
There's a duty-free period happening right now until the end of December.
Yes.
Everybody has heard about that.
That
but
is true.
Are there any other fees or processes that are required, even though we're operating duty-free? Anything else that persons bringing in personal items would need to know?
Well, so the period, let's be clear on the period. It was approved. It commenced on October 29th, and it goes up until the end of the year. That's December 31st.
Right.
And of course, it is a relief of the import duty and also GCT. There's still the customs administration fee. That's a flat fee that will be payable, and also smaller fees, environmental levies, special consumption fee, as is applicable for those smaller items. And of course, again, once those items are among the list and they are designated for relief efforts, persons will benefit from the relief of the GCT and duties.
Right, but those other flat fee and a few other fees still apply.
Right.
I think that this is a question that might be on everybody's minds. We've been talking relief, we've been talking Hurricane Melissa, all of that, but Christmas is coming up. And persons might be wondering, okay, is it only relief items that can be brought in? Is Christmas cancelled? What about my barrel?
Sorry. We do know that at this time of the year there is a surge in terms of persons sending home things, persons purchasing online as well, or shopping and shipping things back home. That still maintains. In fact, all indications are showing that there is still a large healthy appetite for persons who are shipping items, and especially now because of the disaster, persons are sending even more in that case, of course. And we have made the necessary preparations. In fact, the additional resources will be deployed. There's going to be extended working hours. And at the appropriate locations, you will even see some of those locations being opening on a Saturday to ensure that we can process and approve these various consignments for receipt by the intended recipients.
Got it. Well, we'll get more information on those extended opening hours.
Of course,
and
yes.
As always.
Those will be published on our website.
Right.
We always ask persons to consult our website. It's jca.gov.jm. In fact, as you get to the landing page, the details in regards to these various categories of reliefs and the list of items can be found right on our landing page. So we just want to repeat that it's jca.gov.jm.
jca.gov.jm.
Yes.
We started the interview with this matter, and it looks like we're going to end with it as well.
Yes.
I I expect that in this time, there's a lot of misinformation running around online. Talk to us about that. How does that hamper the relief effort?
Well, it does create a bit of confusion. We do understand that there are international donors, persons who want to assist, and that sort of misinformation, it can be a source of discouragement, one. It can also be a source of confusion in regards to our processes, right? So it's always good for persons, if there is an issue that's on the ground, we have our staff there, that they can in fact ensure that they get clarity from the officer or from any of our representatives that are on ground. We also have clear channels of communication. Persons can go to our website. We have a frequently asked section, and we do have our PR team who will provide various types of information, etc., for those persons who are particularly wanting to know about a specific process or service that we offer as well. And we continue to encourage persons to follow us on the various social media platforms. We do try to put out a lot of content to ensure that there's clarity in the public space in regards to our services. They're very detailed documents, procedures, etc. We have our YouTube channel as well, the Jamaica Customs Agency on YouTube, in regards to how to videos, how to use some of our services. And of course, there is our website. So whether you're an individual, whether you're a passenger, or you're commercially involved, you can always consult any of our sources or call us directly, 922-514-029, or email us at public.relations@jca.gov.jm.
Got it. And that's the website again, jca.gov.jm.
That's correct.
Thank you, Sir Williams. You have given us quite a bit to process. Thank you for the clarity that you have given us. With us has been Andre Williams, Chief Information Officer with the Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA. Thank you for joining us, Sir Williams.
You're most welcome.
And thank you, our viewers, for tuning in. This has been Get the Facts. I'm Theodore Henry. Stay safe.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin will be conducting the 2025 Jamaica Survey of Living Conditions JSLC starting August 2025. For over 30 years, PIOJ analysis of JSLC data has helped to shape national policy, including on education, healthcare, and social support. When the JSLC team visits your home, participate. Your voice helps guide real solutions. For more information, visit statinja.gov.jm or WhatsApp Statin at 876-569-1083.
Motorsport sensation Sarah Misir finished off her first season in powerboating with a strong third-place finish in the Miami Grand Prix earlier this month. Misir secured third place overall in the 2025 E1 Series Championship for the Team Blue Rising. Her historic performance has not only placed her among the elite of this emerging high-tech motorsport, but has also ignited national pride and inspired a new generation of young competitors. In this next feature, we dive into the story of Sarah Misir. Take a look.
Good morning. I know how to do this.
Sarah Misir is a race car driver and the first Caribbean woman to reach the Formula Women finals in the UK.
My father has a very long history in motorsports, and when I was young I used to race dirt bikes when I was about 9 to 12 years old, but my mom didn't like it, so I had to take a step back. So I continued with the horseback riding.
As a child, Sarah was an equestrian hopeful, but she suffered an accident that would change the course of her life forever.
I broke my jaw, broke my skull in half, got my eye orbit, so I have a couple of metal plates and screws in me right now. It was pretty tough because I was 16, so getting kicked in the face and half my face was paralyzed for a year, couldn't eat solid food for a couple months. Having that major injury was a reality check, and it really made me appreciate the little things in life, like being able to yawn. So you know, when you break your jaw, your mouth gets wired shut, so you can't yawn, you can't eat, you can't do a lot of things.
Thankfully, she recovered. And with recovery, she got back on that proverbial saddle.
My dad reintroduced me to the world of motorsports with the go-karts. And it was difficult, you know. I was riding horses from when I was 3-4 years old, and then changing into a completely new sport at 17, 18. It was tough because everyone that I was racing against was racing since they were 4 or 5 years old. So I had a very steep learning curve, but I had to put in a lot of work and a lot of discipline.
So, essentially in this new field of race car driving, she was coming from behind. However, this late start seemingly had no daunting impact on the racer. In fact, it may have even motivated her.
When I went there and it was a streetcar class, which is just the beginner class into Dover, you know. And I won my first race when I went out there, and I saw the look on my mom and my dad's face and how proud they were. And you know, you see hard work pay off, and even if it's a little victory, you know, it was still my first victory, and it was everything. And it's one of the pinnacle moments that was like, yes, I like this. This can work.
And work it did.
I entered an international competition called Formula Woman. And it was thousands of applicants around the world, and it was a lot of tests, you know, on track, written tests, media tests, all these different aspects of motorsports. And after trial, when they were doing knockout rounds from 100 to 75 to 11 to 4, I was able to gain that top 4 position after even doing a trial on ice, where we had to race on the ice in Sweden. And that was very interesting because I'm not having much experience in it, because in Jamaica we don't have that. So it was difficult. Each trial had its own challenges, and each time I had to go in with the mindset of like, I just have to try my best. To become the first international female on the racing circuit for Jamaica wasn't an easy path. You know, when I first started out in racing, even here in Jamaica, it was always harder to gain that respect on track as a woman. And it didn't help me that my back of my car said "Pass Boy," so that did not help my case in terms of gaining the respect. But now it is something that's infamously known, and I have earned it, I think, here in Jamaica on the international circuit. It's still something that's a longer feat to gain.
In 2025, Sarah decided to try her hands at a new sport by joining Team Blue Rising in the all-electric E1 World Championships, a Powerboat series.
So racing a boat compared to a car is very different. You know, when you get into an issue with a car, you can just walk out. With a boat, you can't simply just step out the boat and walk out. So there was this interesting change in perspective where before I got into the boat and I got certified for racing, I had to do what's called an immersion test, which is where they put you in a simulated cockpit for the boat. They flip you in a pool, and you have to let the cockpit fill with water and swim out. So you have to do that a couple of times until you're comfortable with it, and they give you the license to pass.
Already she has garnered the title Rookie on the Water, and she's excited for her next race meet. And for anyone who might be looking at the destination with judgment in their eyes, Sarah urges them to first assess the journey.
It's easy to look at someone when they've already reached, you know, somewhere in their career and say, of course, I mean, she got everything handed to her, you know. You see, that's all you see, but behind it, you don't see looking for sponsors. You don't see the hard work of all the doors that got closed in your face. There's so many opportunities that I went and I tried out for Porsche team, I tried out for Aston Martin team. All those doors I went there, I never got the opportunity. One, because it was like too expensive, or I just wasn't good enough for it yet. And it took a lot of perseverance emotionally, because my parents didn't have it where they could just fund any race team and keep going. So I always had to go through an open door with every single blood, sweat and tears I could carry with me and see what I could make of it, whether it was just networking or just going there for the experience. Any girl that would want this path, or any path that they see as challenges in front of it, I would tell them what I lived by since I was very little was this quote that I found a very long time ago, where it said, if you always do what you can, you'll never be more than you are. So you have to make yourself uncomfortable to change, and then your new comfort zone will be a lot bigger than you ever thought it could be.
The government is reminding businesses and consumers that price gouging is illegal, especially during times of national recovery. If you notice unfair increases in the price of essential goods or services, report it.
We will investigate this and ensure that there is enforcement, because in a time of disaster, everyone is expected to exercise good discretion in favor of the national recovery.
To make a report, contact the Consumer Affairs Commission at 876-619-4222 or the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce at 876-619-8038. You may also reach them on their social media pages. Let's work together to keep prices fair.
And I was raised in sunshine, Jamaica, my blessed Jamaica, mighty one, oh, I bless our land always, for strength and no vigor. So let's remind ourselves and tell the world, hello, hello, I'm a Jamaican, we are Jamaicans, hello, hello, I'm a Jamaican.
We've come to the end of today's show. I do hope that you enjoyed this package. To catch a repeat of this or any other, feel free to log on to our website at jis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.